We haven't talked about the wedding on the podcast.
Do we want to do that? Do we want to do a separate cold open?
I just want you to know that the lasting image in my brain before I walked down the aisle before Claire came out was the pizza tucked away behind a tree.
Yeah. I was trying to hide it so it wouldn't be in the picture.
And that's sort of where Tyler's mind was at.
I was walking down the aisle at my wedding like, damn, I wonder what kind of pizza Liver bought.
It was really good pizza, and I had to throw away almost all of it.
It was really
sad.
good
It was
pizza.
really good pizza.
Everyone who saw the pizza box was like, who brought pizza? I want pizza.
Everyone could have had pizza and been very happy. I threw away like $27 worth of pizza.
In the podcast justice system, podcast-based defensive perspective. In the podcast, dedicated detectives to investigate vicious podcasts are members of the Elite Squad and of special podcasters. Welcome to the podcast where podcasters by podcasters. We're here to make podcasts. How are we doing? Yeah, Liver had to do
Welcome to the amateur court. I can't move out of this.
It's been a minute since you've done podcast. Tyler finally lost his virginity. What was the fun section? That's an ongoing. That's a lot. Guys, it's gonna be a weird one again. Anybody have any show notes at the top? I'm so hot. It is smoking.
I'm sweating.
Oh shit!
My contract doesn't work out. I actually have to go over it about it. My roommate,
It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they do. We're gonna do it anyway. Just you and me, we got it, and we're gonna break through.
Let's get this going. We're surfers. We surfing boys. Well, Tyler and I are surfing boys.
Olivia will become a surfing boy eventually.
Yes.
We're going to make it happen.
We're going to make it happen.
Oh, my experience lays in boogie boarding.
That's fine. You can do that.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. This is perfect. No, boogie boarding, fantastic. That counts. I want to do a surfing podcast where we're actually surfing while podcasting. That's the pitch. That's the idea. This is what I want to do. I think it'd be so much fun.
Schooling, waterproof microphones.
Nope. GoPros, baby. That's how we're going to do it.
Wait, GoPros? Just having the whole
GoPros, we
conversation?
sync them up. I've thought about this for too long. It's been stuck in my brain. It's been stuck in my brain for so long.
Okay. No, I have been looking at Amazon, and they do have like wireless lavs that you can plug into your iPhone. I know you could do that with other ones, but like there's like 2 of them and they automatically connect to each other and you can add more and then you can just record from your phone. So if you put your phone in like a waterproof case in like a fanny pack on your wetsuit, there you go.
Okay, interesting.
You do have to get a new lav every time you wipe out.
Waterproof headset. Here you go. This exists. I just want to throw this.
Yes, of course. Okay, so this is what I want the pitch to be. 1, I want to figure out what we want to do, segment, show, form and structure, all that shit. And then 2, I want to find out logistics. I think that's going to be part of the fun of it. So first, let's hammer out show really quick, and then I do want to talk about logistics. So
yeah, let's talk about some form and structure.
I feel like this is sort of a man on the street podcast.
It is. That's what I kind of want to be. Okay, so first of all, just for
can you imagine you're sitting in the water, you're at Malibu, you're in the lineup with like 50 other people, and someone swims up to you with a fucking microphone. And he's like, "Hey,
hey, what are you talking about? About surfing?"
You ready to shred the gnar?
I think so. The reason why I think GoPros would be great is ready to shred the gnar, and that's why you're gonna be sort of our boogie board enthusiast. Okay, let me talk show for a second. Let me talk why I want to do a surfing podcast. 1, untouched market, as far as I tell. I did a cursory Google search and I did not find anything.
It's a visual medium.
It's a visual medium, but
visual medium.
I do a lot of self-talking when I'm surfing, especially out here in California where the waves are very raucous. And the waves sort of bully you and take your lunch money and give you wedgies, and it's called you a slur sometimes.
Can you cut us off a piece of some O'Neill pep talk, some surfing pep talk?
So okay, so let me just do
get some examples.
Let me do a little bit of sound designs here. So
get in position. No, get in position.
Let me get in position.
Hang on, you're paddling out. You're trying to get outside. You're trying to get through the washing machine through that initial break.
Yeah, you gotta get behind the wall.
Yep.
You're at what, Venice Beach? Where do you surf?
No, I surf in Newport, Huntington, one of those 2. Okay. For the listeners at home, I'm now in the surfing position, ass up.
Do you tie your surfboard to the top of your Nissan Versa?
Yeah, I do actually. I have little blocks that sit in my car. All right, I'm swimming. There's the wave. All right. Oh fuck, this wave's like 6 feet tall. There's no fucking way.
You're just gonna.
Oh shit, my surfboard's getting dragged behind. Fuck me. Oh shit. Okay.
All right. How about this? You have to paddle out. You have a break, and there's a break in the water, and you have to paddle out to get outside the wave, so you can wait for a good big fat boy.
Okay. Yeah.
Go. And you're out of breath. You're wheezing. But if you stay there, you're gonna get dunked on.
I'm gonna get fucking. I'm gonna fuck.
Yeah,
all right.
You're gonna die.
Okay. There's a break. Let me go to the left. Oh shit, that just took out a 6-year-old. Oh god. Because it's California and 6-year-old surfs without parent supervision sometimes. Oh shit, should I go help the 6-year-old? No, I gotta fucking get behind this break. This is my one chance.
Put your own oxygen mask on before helping children.
So that's just sort of a little amuse-bouche of sort of
cool.
my inner monologue, and I do verbalize my inner monologue because it's pretty funny.
I like this idea.
Well, that's good to know. We have some kind of B-roll.
Now I do. So a part of it is definitely sort of the solo cams, each of our sort of surfing adventures, but there's going to be a sync sort of metric for it. So it'll be bouncing between the 3. I think this is like video podcasts as well as audio podcasts because I do think it'll be cut down to a certain length where it will just be.
I don't think this is necessarily always going to be about surfing. I think this is just going to be sort of a free talk, like what's going on podcast. But sometimes someone's got to shred some gnar.
Yeah, I think it's honestly, it's podcast in the park meets surfing.
Okay, confession.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm terrified of the open ocean.
As are many people.
I don't trust it. I don't like sharks.
Yeah.
I don't like critters. I have terrible balance. I'm more of a silly little goober who likes my teeny tiny little Cape Cod waves, occasionally a Rhode Island wave, because those are big. And then I like to board safely over the rocks to the shore and then crash into a child's sandcastle. That's pretty much my wheelhouse
exactly.
is. So if you want a shoreline correspondent,
that's what
I'm
exactly
more
you
than
read my
happy
fucking
to
mind,
provide
Olivia.
Commentary from the shoreline. Like kids would be like, "What are you doing?" And then we're gonna go catch minnows, and I'll be like, "Cool." My friends are out there. You guys want to be on a podcast?
Yeah, exactly. So we have Olivia, our shore correspondent, you're sort of like our in the booth. You're giving commentary on the waves we're getting and how much we're getting fucked.
Because you'll hear you guys being like,
Just like,
oh fuck, oh my god, it's so big. And I'll be like, oh my
Rushing
god, this
water.
man is going to die. You just hear like, just like me choking on an ice.
You see me
like
get
that kind
fucking
of situation.
flatlined by a surfboard just coming at me from a 6-foot wave.
And that means I'm also unsure to call the ambulance when you eventually drown. Yeah.
Exactly. I do think it would be
it's a
hilarious
good
if you
idea.
also interviewed some kids making sandcastles while sort
Yeah,
of getting
dude.
distracted as
So,
well.
like, what's your structural plan here? What's this turret for?
Yeah.
Oh, the sea invaders. I see. Are you
I-
able to on the other side?
I think
feel
you
like
might
that
need a
would be
couple
structurally
I-beams.
insecure.
And then it does sort of turn into a home renovation
Have you considered a moat?
podcast. Yeah, that would be great. So interviewing
Yeah,
some
this
shore.
is Sandcastle Architecture Digest. It means
Yes,
surfing in the
exactly. So that's definitely a segment. Is sort of the sandcastle beat that Olivia will be covering. Now,
Sandcastle
Tyler, what
Digest.
is your sort of surfing persona?
Yeah, because I really haven't heard much about your sort of surfing styles.
I listen. Bad is kind of my surfing style. Listen,
Well,
yeah, fair
see,
warning.
Tyler,
I
you did
surf. I'm not
surf
very
on a
good.
lake.
I've surfed on Lake Michigan. So like once every 2 months for the last last 2 years. I do a lot of wake surfing. With Surf Life Jeff.
TM.
Shout out.
And maybe another special guest appearance.
Maybe another special guest
Instead of
appearance.
angel
Yeah,
investor
surfing.
Jeff,
Hey,
is
Jeff.
Surf
we
Life
could
Jeff.
hey, listen, O'Neill, Olivia, if you guys could get to Texas, we could definitely podcast from my dad's boat while one of us is surfing behind the boat. Just saying.
Shit,
That's
it's
an
a possibility.
But-
It's a possibility for sure.
Texas.
It's a possibility. All right, but
Rural
Tyler, I want to
Texas,
know what you're
too.
contributing.
Maybe.
All right,
But-
I'm gonna have that running dialogue of just screaming for help and sort of talking to the waves and to the ocean, to Mother Gaia. But Tyler, what is your sort of inner and external monologue?
Listen, as soon as I'm out in California, my hair will start to get blonde. And
Yes.
I think I
Yep.
could sort of pull off sort of a surfer curtain-y haircut.
Okay.
Little
And I
blonde
could
boys
sort
doing
of get
blonde
in,
boy things.
yeah, little blonde boy doing blonde boy things. 'Cause my hair does get blonde when I'm back in Florida and I'm out in California. I think I could be the sort of inside man, the sort of undercover boss.
Okay, the undercover boss sort of. Okay.
So people will look at me and be like, "Damn, that guy was surfing." I'll make sure I'll wear a wetsuit.
So,
just
like
all
Point
the other
Break.
white boys who
So
take
you
it
mean
too
Point
seriously.
Break.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, point break. Oh, and then we can also have a heist.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sort of the Keanu Reeves.
You're the
of this
inside
story.
man.
Yeah, great, fantastic. Okay, so yes, so
I, could get in
I
with the
think
locals.
If we go up to Malibu, for sure.
Southern California,
Shred
yeah,
the
Laguna
gnar.
Beach.
Okay, so podcasting in the park in the Pacific. Podcasting
podcasting in the Pacific. Okay, possibly. I like it.
And you're shredding the gnar. I'm on
Yes.
the shore. What are our segments other than my sandcastle reviews?
So Sandcastle reviews, beating the wake or beating the wall, sort of our fight, our triumph over getting back behind the wall.
for sure,
Probably first wave, some commentary, definitely some commentary on you seeing us seeing you,
Yep.
what we think you're thinking,
Yep.
what you think we're doing, and then definitely some, and then definitely some interviews with other surfers. Be like, hey, do you want to be on this? And we have to come up with a name for the show eventually. But hey, do you want to become?
How do you
wanna
guys?
join the
I
show?
I have a name pitch if you guys are
Sure.
interested.
Pod the gnar. Surf the
Pod-
pod.
surf
Pod
the
the
pod.
Gnar is
Pod the
pretty good.
Gnar is pretty good. Pod the Gnar, I kind of like.
Surfing the web is pretty good.
Uh,
Is there
The web.
is there like a pipeline?
why
I
pipeline?
feel like we'd get an activist kind of ding.
Yeah.
Pipeline like the famous surf spot.
that might be
Well,
one
not
step
famous
too
enough,
far to
Tyler,
the
because
left.
I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, I also don't know what the fuck you're talking about there, Tyler.
It's on the north side of Oahu. It's the big
Okay, well,
one that
that's-
they all surf at. Pipeline.
Oh.
Pod break. No, not funny. No.
Pod break.
That's
Pod break.
bad SEO.
I love that, Olivia.
Bad SEO.
It's pretty good.
Bad SEO.
Hold on, let me.
No.
Let me
hang
check
on, let
it.
it
Let
pod
it-
break. Let it have bad SEO because I have a solution for that in my pitch.
Pod break. Oh, good, great, all right, fantastic. Pod
Is
break.
this an episode where
podcast.
Tyler renames all of our bad podcasts?
Okay, there is a podcast called Pod Break. Oh no, it's a podcast network. Pod Break is a podcast network, so we can't go with Pod
Okay,
Break.
so no.
But yeah, let's hang around name real quick, and then let's.
Are you guys familiar with the concept of dawn patrol, like going out surfing like really early in
Yes.
the morning? Could
That's-
we do
yes.
pod patrol? Dawn
Pod Patrol is already a podcast. It's about Pod
Pod
Patrol.
Patrol, we
Tyler,
have-
come
okay, I'm
on,
trying to
we
think.
have
Okay,
to
okay,
do
okay.
better.
Surfing the Podcific.
Podcific Rim. Write it down. God damn it, we're generating here. We're generating.
Oh God, all the mechs.
Shit.
I'm reading surf lingo. Men in gray suits is slang for sharks. That's hilarious.
That's pretty good. Podcasters in gray suits?
A paddlepus?
Well,
Podcasters in gray suits.
Paddlepus is a different one, Liver. That's my sex education pod.
That's me! I'm the paddlepus!
Paddlepus.
What is a paddlepus?
A paddlepus is somebody who plays in the white water and is afraid to stray from the beach. That's very good.
Gray suits and a paddlepus.
Can we just call it Shaka Bra? What do you think?
Tyler.
Great.
Tyler, we talked about
Why are
this. You got to do
surfers so
better.
weird?
2 men, 1 board.
And Olivia.
and a paddlepus.
And a paddlepus. 2 men and a paddlepus.
2 men.
Wave hog.
two. I like two men and a paddlepus.
2 men in gray suits and a paddlepus.
Shit.
2 sharks and a paddlepus.
Sharks and a
like
sharks.
that.
2 sharks and a paddlepus I kind of like, but that's not great SEO for a surfing. Could we call it O'Neill with 2 L's? The O'Neill podcast. That's a niche
I've looked
surfing
at
brand
when I was
joke.
looking at buying wetsuits, I almost bought an O'Neill wetsuit, and then I was like, I can't do
Yeah.
it.
Can't
Okay,
brand
wait.
yourself.
This is kind of like Whales the podcast, but it could be Radical the podcast.
Ooh,
I like that.
It's definitely
Could it be-
taken though as a problem. Probably.
Radical exclamation point like Oklahoma.
Yeah, Radical's
the
taken.
podcast.
What's like very specific, identifiable surfing lingo? Hang 10.
How about dick dragger? A derogatory term referring to the action of lying down on your board while riding a wave, usually used for bodyboarders. A female version is called a clam dragger.
You can't.
So funny. Okay.
That's fucked up.
Could we call it just drop? Could we just call it dropping in? Just call
That's
it
what
dropping
Olivia
in.
pitched.
Yeah.
Um,
Caught Inside the podcast.
Caught
Dropping.
Inside is pretty. The Caught Inside podcast is pretty good.
what's caught inside mean?
It means getting caught in
Inside
the
is,
washing
being
machine,
caught
like
between
being
the
caught-
shoreline and the breaking waves.
Oh, caught inside. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Caught inside.
Yeah.
Okay, I like. Oh God. Oh, here we go. Okay, the Caught Inside podcast is not taken. Yeah, I'm so that's fine. Caught inside. Okay, real quick, let's go over logistics because I think it'd be fun. So GoPros, maybe. I think GoPros would be funny because we could also have a little bit of fun with the video
that's
element
true.
of it. I don't know how good the audio would be, so maybe I'll go do a test run this
It'd
Sunday.
be rough. It would have to be a very short episode.
Oh
Or you
yeah,
could
I
listen
mean,
to it while you go to sleep.
Well, you could have a real microphone.
You
and
could
this
have a real
just
microphone,
be
that's true.
a special.
I'm set up
Where
on the
Olivia's
beach
like,
with my
oh, that looks
short
like it hurt,
microphone.
and we're just like,
Oh boy, oh
with
boy.
the terrible splashing sound. Oh God.
I'm like, oh my God, Jesus. Oh my God, he's not coming out of the water. Where's Tyler? Oh God, I have to call his wife.
Okay, cool. Caught inside the podcast. I'm down for it, and we'll do GoPros and maybe
I
one
mean,
mic.
Claire might join you on. The
Honestly,
shore,
yeah, that
so
might be
Claire
fun.
also has
Little
a couple
co-host.
Paddle
configurations.
puss. Paddle puss.
I'm still. Let me write down. Let me just in case 2 sharks in a paddle puss. I'm gonna write that down just in case we want to circle back to it.
Just as a backup.
Okay, cool. Kept it tight. Wheel of choosing.
Yo.
Olivia Benson, you're up. Detective Olivia Benson.
Okay. This one's going to be a downer. You guys know what an advanced directive is?
No.
No.
Okay. Tyler, you will probably have to talk about one of these fairly soon.
What?
An advanced directive is essentially a written legal document that says that with like medical decisions when you are no longer able to make medical decisions. We're talking about death today, boys. We're talking about what we're doing with our dead bodies.
Fuck yeah, let's do it. I love a good morbid pod.
What brings this on, you may ask? Well, next week I'll be speaking at the Massachusetts State House for the Joint Committee for Public Health to advocate for death care options to be opened up in the state of Massachusetts.
Wait, what?
So by the time this episode airs, I will have possibly spoken in front of the Joint Committee for Public Health of Massachusetts. So, yeah, that's a thing that I might be doing. So, essentially, this is the Death Positivity Podcast for Gen Z. I know we do kind of bank on the Gen Z thing a little bit. A lot. We do. But the thing is, we kind of have a unique perspective on this a little bit. And, you know, your advance directives, your funeral planning is mainly done for older people. But newsflash, you can die anytime. So...
Wait, what?
No, I can't. I'm immortal. Don't
die.
forget, I'm immortal. Well, Tyler, you can die. I just have to flip the switch at any moment.
I'll smoke a cigarette right now to prove you wrong.
You want to bum me one of those through the screen?
Listen, if you can ice me through the screen, I can give you a
believe you
steak
guys.
through the screen for sure. No. Because again, we can make this funny. It can be difficult to talk about death, dying, and funeral arrangements when you're 20.
Oh,
but
this
it's really
this
funny.
is a holiday trip, but it's about different ways people.
Ways you can die.
Yes! But it's our own, like, everyone gets to sort of talk about their sort of death
1,000
options.
ways to die.
Yeah.
The podcast.
We could talk about the people who pose their corpses in Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Have you doing like cool stuff, like riding a motorcycle?
I have my death positivity book somewhere on the shelf here, but so the main sort of inspiration for this, the reason I found out and that I'm speaking at the State House is because of the Order of the Good Death, which is a advocacy group that was
magical.
Founded by Caitlin Doty, who was a LA-based mortician. I think she's on the East Coast now.
And a wizard. Let's not forget.
And she writes about death and the search for the good death.
I saw that. That was a
my
sitcom,
favorite
right?
TV show.
Fuck you! I got there first, you bastard.
I missed the
Go
joke.
ahead. It sounds like a good place. Don't worry about it. Continue.
Oh, yeah, Order of the Good Death, yeah. So the good death is essentially whatever you personally or your culture thinks of as a good death. So, like, let's take the Romans and Greeks, for example. So the Greeks cremated their dead because they thought that going into the ground was like a lowly, non-heroic thing. You rot, it's gross, it's not fun. But if you think about, like, Eastern philosophy, like, India, Japan, China, they do a lot of cremation stuff, but in Europe they do a lot of burial stuff. So, you know, over time and across cultures, the good death is different.
Interesting.
So I thought it would be fun if the three of us discussed what our good death would be.
Okay,
Because I've
interesting.
thought about this a lot, and nobody wants to listen to me talk about it.
So you're gonna force them to on the
What's
podcast.
your special interest? Mine's death.
No, I think this is good. I think this could be fun. I think what we'll need to do is I think it's a multi-segment show, a la holiday trip, I would say, but maybe less a little. I don't know how you feel about this, Olivia, but maybe a little less researchy, and maybe just we pick one topic to like
a
actually
little
do
less
research about,
researchy,
and then
but
we just
it could
have
be
a little
us
fun with it.
discussing a topic, or each of us could like kind of do our own little bit of research, and just be like, this is the death option that I would like, because like my dad like jokes that he wants to be turned into fireworks because he can't have a Viking funeral. So like that kind of thing.
Pretty good.
Interesting.
My mom wants her ashes scattered at the beach. So like, you know, everyone,
everybody
older
has their
people
own
think about this
like
kind of thing
want and
when they get married, when they have kids, when they have to start like developing like a will, like an advance directive is a part of that.
Yeah.
So like your DNRs are a part of an advance directive.
Yeah, I was going to say, because if we're going to talk about just advanced directives in general, it's also like end of life care is a part
Not
of it.
necessarily that, but that's just
Well,
yes.
I was wondering if we could maybe expand it out to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a really good episode on Sawbones, the medical history podcast, about like when they started doing actual end of life treatment and making that a part of the medical process. So like including
palliative
that,
care,
sort of taking a. Is there a way to make this summative in a way?
Is there a way to make this funny?
that too.
Well,
we'll
the
get
thing
there.
it's also funny because you know, a lot of people have to joke about death to cope with it, which is fair. I definitely do it all the time.
Okay, so let's dive into it then. Let's get into the nitty gritty of the show.
Yeah. So either I'm thinking of a holiday trip kind of style where I would bring a like body disposition option. or something related to funerals and death and dying as a young person. I could probably reach out and find an expert to talk to. Maybe, possibly. It might take me a while if we wanted to do this for a bit depth. That could be a thing that I could do. But I think this could be a cute, short little thing where we like talk for like half an hour about, that. So we could do a sort of like research thing where I'm like, let's talk about open pyre cremation. It's legal in Colorado and like that kind of thing. And like the three of us could sort of discuss that. Me as a little more versed and you guys as a little more like, like,
sort
oh,
of
like that's wild. How does that work? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we're riffing on it.
Thing where, or we could all sort of talk about death and dying and making it a little jokesy. I don't know.
No, I like this. I like this angle. I think we're building on something really strong. Is there like a ranking or something we can do where we personally rank how each of us would like prefer to die? Something there where we like gamify
3 to 5 graves.
3 to 5 graves? 3 out of 5 graves.
It could
exactly.
Be out of 6 feet.
Yeah, like
it could
rating.
Be out of 6 feet. I'm like 3 feet.
Oh,
under
I like that
for this one.
3 feet under. Yeah, I'm only 3
this
feet under on
that's
this one.
That's an A+.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that. So we use our 6 feet under ranking system.
420 centimeters under.
Sure. Oh, okay, great. I got it. Olivia, can this be a 3-segment show? We talk about a death, like a historical death, like Alexander the Great and how he died. Like we take a historical death.
Oh yeah, good death.
And then we take like a legal death or something along those lines. I'm a little bit mixed on the second one. Yeah. And then the last one we talk about is like what we would want to do, like a research about what people do with a body, right? So we have like a death, something in the middle, and then what we do with the body afterwards. That something in the middle, I was thinking more like medical
I'm even
or
thinking
legal.
That we could do like a historical death. So like a historical death.
Yep.
We could talk about like the science of how a like body disposition process works. So like what I'm advocating for next week is aquamation or alkaline hydrolysis, which is essentially a flameless cremation where with a mix of water and enzymes, they break down your body, even your bones, into organic, nutrient-rich sludge. Sorry. And you can be like your like organic stuff can actually do something because actual cremated remains are inert. They don't provide any nutrients for nature. Or like, how does decomposition work? How does human composting work?
Yes,
kind of talk about like the science of that. Could be like a second segment.
This is fantastic. I love this idea. The only thing I'm missing is that bridge. Do we want to get religious with it? Maybe I don't know, but I'm missing the bridge between like
but
end
we don't
of
necessarily have to,
or maybe before we talk about a historic death, or we've sandwiched it in there somewhere. But end of life care is something I'm actually particularly interested in. Bucket listy, or like that sort of the culmination of a life before it actually passes. So like a historic death.
Talking about a little science lesson.
Yeah, a little history lesson, a little science lesson about the body part of it, and then a sort of a humanitarian angle, like maybe a societal
like the
angle,
social element of it.
Yeah, something there, you know. So maybe that's it. Maybe we just talk about like a cultural death thing, a historical death thing, and a more scientific death thing.
Yeah. And I will attempt to not cover topics that have been covered before. Caitlin Doty, the woman who sort of inspired this idea, does have a YouTube series called Ask a Mortician. She does a bunch of different great segments on that, talks about all different kinds of the funeral industry, talks about historical deaths, iconic corpses.
And is it funny?
It is actually funny. She's very, very funny.
Okay.
She does some very good stuff with it. To the point where people are like, that feels weird. Why are you being funny? And she's like, his death is hilarious. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And the other thing,
dude,
she
get a
does have
boner
podcast.
after you die? Sick.
You do sometimes. That's not
I
a
will
joke.
for
That's
sure.
actually-
If I ever do pass, rock hard. That's the only way I'll go out. That's actually one of my 8 Horcruxes.
Hard.
Hard.
You have to cut off O'Neill's dick to kill him.
No. You have to get me hard, and that's the only way the bullet will stick in my brain.
O'Neill
Has to be a
wants
silver
to
bullet.
be
Don't forget.
Basic instinct more than anything in the world.
Sure, why not? Let's get crazy. Let's get with it. Okay, so that's great. So ways we want to die, ways people have died, and what we want to do with the bodies. I have a title suggestion, and this can sort of kick us off for the title segment of this. 1,000 Ways You Want to Die?
The 1,000 best ways to die.
Here's the thing.
The top 1,000 ways to die.
It's not.
BuzzFeed presents.
Watch Mojo presents.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. Here's the top 1,000 ways to die. Number 1. The snap, like,
Yeah.
Do you think the snap was painful?
No.
yeah,
No.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. It obviously didn't feel good.
Yeah, but he was just nauseous. He was just nauseous. Well, being nauseous.
you know,
is
from
the
his
worst
body
way to
being
go.
disintegrated.
From my day-to-day life with my
Exactly.
tummy troubles, you know.
But the thing is, like, the ways you want to die kind of implies that you want to die, which isn't the point. The point is,
That's
like,
fair. That's fair.
like, you will die, and here's,
yes.
the benefits of that. Not necessarily benefits of you
Yes,
dying,
Olivia, but also like I know, but also like it is the way you would like to die because we're all gonna die, except for me. I'm immortal, obviously can't die.
How about you will die, the podcast?
You will die is pretty good.
You will die, the podcast.
It's
That
also
sounds a
Your
little
inevitable
ARG to me.
You're shuffling off the mortal coil.
The Mortal Coil Shuffle was presented by
The mortal coil.
Every day I'm shuffling.
It's your funeral, the podcast.
Yes, Olivia. What the
Olivia
fuck?
with the
There it
heat.
is. Olivia with the heat. Let me just double check and make sure it's all good.
Yes.
Okay. There is a podcast hosted by Sam Hunter
Is it
and
a
Bonnie
funeral
Slater.
planning
It's called
podcast?
"It's Your Funeral." Yeah, it talks to guests about their fantasy funeral. So it's not exactly the same thing.
Let's go! I'm adding
it's-
that to my Spotify right now.
Yeah. But yes. Okay. So we can't do "It's Your Funeral," although that's that fucking heat liver that we need.
R.I.P. Rest in podcast.
Rested podcast is very good. That's very
Shit,
good.
it's probably
I like
taken.
that
That
a
was the
lot.
problem. Rest in podcast.
Rested podcast.
Yes, it's taken. Fuck.
Fuck.
Fuck. We
Why is
can't
death
do
so
this.
funny and easy to podcast about?
So you're gonna die. The podcast.
So
So because we had like "You're Gonna Die" the podcast, but like let's make it a little bit more
Yeah.
whales. You know. So
Could it
you're
be
gonna
everyone
die.
dies like everybody poops. Everybody dies.
Everybody dies. Let me look it up.
Everybody dies. The big sleep. The big sleep. The podcast.
The big sleep. No, because then that's back to the Manchurian Sleep podcast.
God damn it! Why is death so funny?
What if that's the name of the podcast?
What is if it's
God
what if
damn
Why
it,
is death
why-
so funny? The podcast.
No,
if
you
the
have
name
to
of
put the
podcast is
blasphemy.
Death
How
and
about
then
how
in parentheses.
about like an all real monsters where it's like, haha, you're gonna die.
That's what I was suggesting earlier. Like you're gonna
Okay.
die anyway. That sort of vibe. Can
like
we
really,
channel
really
that?
making a meal out of
Yeah,
it.
make a meal out of the
Making a meal
name.
out
Make a
of
meal
it.
out of the name. Let's
I
do
am
that.
become
Oh,
death
Jimmy,
podcaster of worlds.
Nope, that's for our Barbenheimer podcast, Tyler. Come on.
I am become Barbie.
I am become Barbie, podcaster of death. Podcaster of death is pretty cool. All right, let's try to make a meal out of it. Everybody's gonna die.
Haha, death.
Haha, you're dead.
Hooray, death.
Yeah, you're gonna die anyway.
So you're dead.
So you're gonna die.
You're gonna die. So what?
You're gonna die. Now what?
You will die. And it's funny. You fucking hear me?
You will die.
It's a funny thing. You're gonna be alive, and then there's gonna be nothing.
All right, locking that one in. That's the name right there. I got the transcript right here. I'm just gonna copy and paste
You will
that.
die. Do you hear me? You're gonna die, and it's funny. You will be alive, and then there will be nothing. Void.
Shit.
Into the Unknown, the podcast.
No, that's about fucking Frozen. It's a Frozen podcast.
Hope for the best, expect to die.
Okay, I don't hate it. Hope for the again. This is the podcast.
Wish you
about,
were here, a podcast about death.
Oh no, that's sad now.
Stairway to podcast.
Stairway to podcast.
Highway to podcast.
We need to stay on track. It's
On
about.
the road to podcast.
Well,
Okay,
Olivia, what was the
sorry,
terminology
death,
again?
dying.
What was the terminology specifically used again? The advanced directive. So it's about like taking death into your own hands. Is there something there?
Yeah.
Grabbing death by the horns.
Grabbing death by the balls.
And we got it. Grabbing death by the balls. Death is stored in the balls. I'm just gonna say that really quick.
Death is stored in the balls.
Which is not incorrect if you think about it.
Okay, which is funny because in French, the climax is known as le petit mort, the little
The small death. Okay, great.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
And also by creating life, you subsequently create death. You ever think about that?
Yeah, it sounds circle of life, and they're moving on. It's Tyler's turn. Olivia, you go with grabbing death by the balls.
Sure. Grabbing death by the balls and other advice.
And other advice for dying. Oh, I really like that, actually. And other
Thank you.
advice for dying.
All right. Do you guys want more of a meta pitch, or do you want like a more of a grounded, like regular pitch?
Tyler, we've
it's
talked
fucking-
about death and surfing today.
Yeah, so
like,
do whatever the fuck
dude.
you want, Tyler. Jesus
No.
Christ.
I guess I teased.
Tyler,
I guess I
you
teased.
want me to
one
fucking
earlier.
wipe your ass for you too? Fucking pick a
Yeah.
podcast and pitch it to me.
Follow through. Hey, commit.
Yeah, I guess I.
And we're not talking about the sewer slide.
We already know what he's committed to. Maybe put that in some other avenues of your life, huh, T-Dog?
For once.
You won't believe what these podcasters make per year. This is the SEO podcast.
I'll tell you right now, it's a big old goose egg, gang.
Yeah, 0. Tyler, actually, it's negative. What do you mean the SEO podcast? What is this?
This is a podcast that is. Listen, our ideas. We just named a podcast "Grabbing Death by the Balls." That's not great search engine optimization. This is, and you know what? These podcasts
Is that what SEO stands for?
And I'm sick of it. Yeah, search engine optimization.
Yeah, SEO.
SEO.
I learned something new today.
For those of you who don't know, SEO is the set of parameters by which your podcast is found.
Well, not just your podcast, Tyler. Anything. Our website is also website.biz. It's not great.
The internet's just threads and podcasts now, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much at this point.
This is a podcast.
Zuck made sure of
Listen,
that.
I'm going back to sort of the early days of this podcast when we were trying to make it rich. This is a Make It Rich Quick podcast. This is a podcast that exclusively covers the most search engine optimal stuff.
Interesting. I kind of like this.
This is a podcast about finding the most optimal search. This is the podcast. I want to hit number 1 on Google with this podcast.
Okay, all right. So is this a
Okay,
podcast
okay.
about SEO? Because there are podcasts about SEO.
No. This is a podcast. We need to figure out what will lead to the most SEO, and this is a podcast about that.
Okay, so we're
This
optimizing
is a chasing
the topic.
the trends podcast. We're optimizing. This is the perfect. This is a perfectly optimized.
Perfectly
podcast.
optimized.
Is this like kind of like creating a perfect hashtag kind of situation?
This is like this episode's called
Yes.
"You Won't Believe What This AI Did." Podcasters hate it. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Sort of clickbaity as
Not
well
clickbait,
as
not
clickbait
clickbait.
though.
This is chasing trends. This is. This is
Okay.
a trend-based podcast. What's big
Chasing
right
the
now?
Dragon, the
I don't know. Chasing the Dragon.
Chasing the
We're
dragon.
not talking about heroin. We're not talking about heroin.
Chasing
And
the
in this
dragon.
case, the
The
dragon
SEO
is-
podcast.
Sorry, I'm on names right now. I have names
Yeah, I
in
know,
my head.
it's all
It's
good,
just
it's all
silly.
good,
Just
it's all good.
ignore me.
Okay, Tyler. How would we craft the perfect SEO? Is it per episode? I'm assuming where every episode has the perfect SEO.
Yeah, like
want
what's
to
is there
talk.
like a formula?
There's something called Google Trends. You can Google what the trending Google searches are for that day.
Okay.
We release one 10-minute podcast every day. It's just 10 minutes, and there's a lot of feed drops. It's optimizing
Yeah,
SEO.
no, I get it. No, I get it.
So let's quick,
And we
real
just
quick.
optimize.
And
So
we
Tyler's
just
Tyler's
optimized.
pitch here, Olivia, just in case it's not 100% clear, is Tyler's just trying to fast track his podcast so it becomes a feed. Oh shit! Olivia dropped her microphone.
I'm wrestling the mic. Hold on. It's getting away from me. Hold on, it's kicking.
Do you want to go in this A segment?
I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening.
It's so hot. I'm so sweaty.
It's so
and Tyler's just
chaotic.
trying to fucking get a feed drop for
I
his
need
number
some
so
water.
it looks better
I
on the
need
leaderboard.
water.
Do we need a break?
Tyler.
Do we all need to take a beverage
No. Fuck no. We're seeing this fucking through, all right? Tyler, why is your
Endurance.
podcast good? Tell me
Endurance.
now.
It's not a good podcast, but it will get us famous.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
This is
So
the
these
opposite.
are
So
like our
hang on.
mini episodes.
Let me put it this way.
Okay.
Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
What we've been doing is make good podcasts regardless of search engine optimization.
fair. That's
and
fair.
that
So now we're
hasn't
doing
been
the
working.
opposite.
So now we're doing the opposite, where we are prioritizing SEO, and it doesn't matter how good the podcast is.
Okay. So like this is like
Okay.
your puppy interviews, but there's like a zingy sort of thing that's easy to search, right?
Yes. This is
Okay,
a
great.
zingy, easy to search. It's about puppies
So this is
and the news of the day.
This is podcast puppy interview.
It's
Podcast.
but it has to
The
have better.
Pupcast.
Sorry.
So
Sorry.
we have to. The podcast is pretty good. It's very
I'll be quiet.
no, it's fine. We all are here to contribute, Olivia. All right, it's fine. You're
I'm
here
tired
to
of
fucking.
contributing. I'm so tired.
You and Tyler both, all right? And fucking listen,
I
I
just wanna
got
make something good.
I've got both of you on my podcast shoulders. I'm trying to carry us to deliberation. Tyler, please give me a segment or something for this show, please.
Segment Google Trends right now. Top 3 things on Google Trends. 2
Shit, how do you
million
get to
plus
Google?
searches? Powerball. Just Google trending Google searches. It'll pop up. Number 1, Powerball. There's a $1 billion Powerball right now. Wait,
I got
we
that one,
record
actually.
10 minutes about
Yes.
the Powerball right now, and we drop it right now. Doesn't
Okay.
matter. Doesn't have to be good. We just
So it's a
drop 10
day and
minutes on
date
the Powerball.
podcast.
It's a day and date podcast. Yes, it's about what is
So
popular.
can we call this
about
the?
what is good?
Okay.
And
I'm
in all
understanding
caps,
this.
the title of this episode is going to be Powerball. $1 billion? You could win.
Okay, Tyler. Okay, great. So we have the click, right? But then how do we keep?
We don't. That's not the point of this
great. Well,
podcast.
then- so it's
We're
just to get
we're
clicks.
just hunting the click.
We're hunting Twitter impressions. You know what I mean?
Okay. Click hunter. Click
Hang on.
farming.
Now, very specifically, this is
Yeah.
a feed drop. It's a feed drop segment
Yes.
that we can put in our feed, and it's just going to juice the podcast feed.
Now,
You know
Tyler,
what I mean?
How much do you know
Okay.
about SEO?
So this
'Cause
is
that's
another
not
This is
how it
steroids.
works.
This is another
podcast
stunt.
steroids is pretty good. All right, a podcast stunt. I'm liking this. I'm
Look,
liking
there
this.
might be some minor. Listen, there might be some side effects. Our balls are gonna look a little small.
Yeah.
and we're
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
get a
really
little angry,
chonky,
I
and
think.
we're gonna get
Okay,
a little
great. I
angry.
like this. Fantastic.
But our numbers are gonna be insane. This podcast is gonna bench its own body weight like that.
Okay,
All right,
here's the idea that I have now in my head. This is what I have. Okay. So O'Neill, this is actually you're actually the perfect example for this. During stand-up club, we would have
Yes.
prompts that were kind of based on the news to do bits on.
Yes.
So these are your trending topics, and then we just do jokes about that.
okay,
We just
great.
do jokes because that way, funny,
Sort of a
it
10-minute
keeps it
improv
engaging,
session.
and we have a good topic.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the SEO Improv Show.
I can't. My soul, I already sold my soul. BuzzFeed has a little
Yes,
bit.
and
Beyonce
yes,
has a little
and
bit.
no but.
Sure, yeah, okay, all right, fine. Yes, and I guess we're doing fucking Google Trends. All right. So sex with me is like women's soccer.
It's like Powerball.
Sex
got
with
two
me
of
is
them.
like Rory
I don't know.
McIlroy.
Jesus Christ. Oh shit.
I like this. I like this game now.
So improv game. So this is an improv game using the titles.
No, we don't have to know. We've derailed so many of Tyler's pitches.
No, fuck it. No,
But,
too
like-
fucking bad. No, too
no,
bad. I
that's
don't give
fine.
a shit. I don't give a shit because Tyler came over here. Tyler came over here with fucking 3 fishes and 2 bread and said, "Here, take it." And we're like, "Okay, I guess I'll make a sandwich." And then Olivia, somehow you did a fucking magic trick, and now we have a podcast. So thank you for turning 3 fishes and 2 bread into
I'm
a
a
podcast.
wizard. I am Jesus Christ. I fed the entire
I'm
world.
tired
with
of doing
fish.
this for free, O'Neill. Okay, I'm tired of bringing ideas that are gonna make
Hey,
us
Tyler,
fucking
hey,
money,
Tyler.
and you shitting all over
Hey,
them.
Tyler, I'm sick of doing it for negative money, all right? So I'm with you, all right? If anybody's fucking sympathizing,
Yeah.
it's me, the person paying for the fucking website, all right? All right, let's calm down. Let's make this fucking happen. Let's get these numbers up. If you're listening, please share the show with your friends. God, please.
I can't go on much longer. This is a hell of my own creation. I have no podcasting mouth, but I must scream.
In the arms of the podcast, won't you
Anyway,
sponsor
that's the
these
search
3
engine
podcasters?
This is this SEO pod. This is the SEO Improv Minute, and welcome to my podcast, the SEO Improv.
All right,
Minute.
so what are we calling it? What we call it? Funny Trends.
Yeah.
Funny Trends podcast. That's actually pretty. Hey, that's actually generic enough that it kind of might work. Let me Google the Funny Trends podcast. No, we got it. There's Trends Like These, which is a Maximum Fun podcast, but that's kind of old too. I don't know if it's still
Yes, I
going.
remember Trends
Welcome
Like
to the
These.
Funny Trends podcast.
No.
All right, Funny
This is
Trends. The Funny Trends podcast.
Every day we go Powerball. Sex with me is like the Powerball.
Sex with me is like a Powerball because I have a mega millions of sperm.
I really hope death grabs me by the balls any minute. I'm so hot. I'm so tired. There's a spider on my ceiling. Do another SVU bit, O'Neill. Do that to take us into the deliberation. Improv.
You said I want to fucking. You said he wants to fucking. I want to fucking.
I need water or I'm gonna die.
And now it's time to go do a quick recap. I pitched the Cotton Side podcast / Two Sharks in a Paddlepus, which I'm definitely leaning Two Sharks in a Paddlepus now. And it's a surfing podcast where Tyler and O'Neill go surfing and Olivia watches from the shore. And it's funny because we're not very good at what we do, including podcasting. Thank you for listening to my pitch. Have a good night. Jesus Christ bless you and yours.
My podcast was grab death by the balls and other fun thing. I don't know. what
Other
the
advice for
fucking
dying,
tagline
please.
was.
We have to do
Okay.
show.
Let me restart. Okay. I pitched grab death by the balls and other advice for fuck me running.
It's in
Okay.
the Google Doc.
I pitched-
Go to the Google Doc.
I'm not. I'm trying to be spontaneous, Rudyard. Okay.
Why are we fighting?
I hate it when mom and dad fight.
It's the heat. It's the heat. It's like Do the Right Thing. The heat is a character. Okay. Okay. So I pitched Grab Death by the Balls and Other Advice for Dying, which is the Gen Z version of a death advice podcast. We talk about death history. We talk about death science. We talk about death, dying, science, history, unraveling the mystery that all started with life and death.
I pitched the Funny Trends, which is the first podcast that's actually going to make us some fucking money, okay? This one's going to get us rich. We're improving about the latest Google trends. This is about trend. We're finding I got it, guys. I'm so broke. I'm moving to Los Angeles. I need money so bad.
Tyler, get the fuck out of podcasting if you want money. I'll tell you that straight up fucking down. Oh shit. All right. Come with me, guys. It's time to go to deliberation. Let's rein it in.
I can't do it on my own. I'm only a woman.
Okay, hang on, O'Neill. I have my first. Yours is a bit depth.
Yeah. No. I 100%. That I pitched it as a bit.
I
It's-
am not in California until September.
And then Liver can
unless
come
we want to
visit us.
all meet in Texas for some.
in
surf
Texas,
life, Jeff.
sure. But I don't think we can do that next week is the problem. So the Cotton Side
again.
podcast. Okay. First of all, I am sticking with Two Sharks in a Paddlepus.
Paddlepus. Great, thanks.
Paddlepus.
Two sharks and
Yeah.
a paddlepus. Good. I'm as
Good.
SEO king. I'm gonna nix that one right here. That's a bit depth, and we're not doing.
Yeah,
that
we'll
one.
make it a bit depth. Once Olivia, when you come out, we'll
Make it
do
a
a
bit
beach
depth,
day,
yeah.
and we'll do that one. We'll rent a couple of GoPros and maybe an H64 or something, and have a
Perfect.
Have a day.
Great.
Have a fun time.
That'll be fun.
Have a good time.
Nice little exclusive. Nice. Cool.
All right, so that
Rad.
leaves Grab Death by the Balls and Other Advice for Dying, and the Funny Trends podcast. All right, let's have an
I
open and
think
honest.
At the rate we're going, and the frequency with which my internet craps out, I think the Funny Trends podcast might be in our best interest this week. I'm not gonna lie.
I do think so. I honestly do think it would be fun to do because we have kind of pushed off My Strange Prediction because of life event stuff. So
Yes.
it would be nice to do like a week-long feed drop sort of situation. Yeah. So let's. I
This is
would also
one of
kind of
those
be down
reviews.
for the funny Trends podcast. It's so generic that it might
I'm
just
about that.
work, Tyler. All right. So this is your
was the
fucking
idea.
try
Yeah.
test.
So crazy. It just might work. Okay.
It's so generic, it might just work.
So when is our release date for this episode? Because the thing is, we want to do funny trends, but we want it to be
we
from
can't
the
record
day
it now.
that
It
we
has to be
upload.
present. It has
It
to
has
So
to
we
be
can't
as
record
soon
it
as I
today.
finish. I will
so
tell you
on
as
Monday, we need to record.
Yes, as soon as I will tell you as soon as I'm done editing this A segment when we're ready to record. All right, cool.
Great.
So not a lot of deliberating, I guess, but
That was
here
the
we-
fastest deliberation we've ever had.
And I think it's just because we all had to sit there while Olivia's
The land
internet
speed
died.
trials are fucking nuts on this one, boys.
This is
Fuck.
the shortest, longest podcast we've ever had. Okay, real quick before we move on, I do want to say, so what is it, 7 days or 5 days? What are we thinking?
It's got to be all the way through.
Weekdays. It's got to be all
Weekdays, that's
all
true.
7 days.
Okay.
Weekdays. Yeah, I think the business week is fine. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So we'll
your
do
business
Monday,
days.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
So
Thursday,
we have
Friday.
to talk for
Whew.
5 days this week.
Oof. Okay,
make it
we'll
happen,
block it
boys.
off. All right, let's do it. So with that,
So this
we'll
is going
back
to be what, a
you with
50-minute bit?
yeah, 50-minute fee drop.
Another 5 little episodes.
5 little episodes.
Yeah,
All
5
right. So
little
with
feed
that,
drops.
we'll be
All
back
right.
to you with
Word.
the Funny Trends podcast right after these messages.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm zucking it. Have you ever wanted all your data to be stolen by one man? Well, you're in luck. Thanks to the metaverse and the Fediverse, Zuck now has all of your data. You thought it was yours. It's not. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm zucking it. End of ad.
And make sure to rate us 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. It really does help. Hopefully, share the show with your friends. Hopefully, the Funny Trends podcast helps. But we never know, and we can't know, and that's sort of the whole issue.
Give
Give them a little sampler.
yes,
Give them a little sampling of our shit.
yeah, a little sampling, a little
yeah.
taste. Yeah. So go ahead and share the show with your friends. Share the website with your friends. www.website.biz. You know it's funny. It's called the podcast, and our website's called the website. So go ahead and share that with your friends, and yeah, follow us on all the socials. We're on Threads. We're not really using Twitter as much, but we're still there. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on Reddit. Yeah, follow us on all the social medias at Triple P Cast. And yeah, YouTube videos will be coming soon. But yeah, all the updates will be found on our website. Website.biz. Any other notes?
And if you are interested in death advocacy, I highly recommend checking out Ask a Mortician online, as well as checking out your local death care options in your state. And if there's new stuff coming up, they're dropping some new shit. So, you know,
So stay tuned for that bit.
talk
Jeff,
to your
on
Senate
grabbing death by the
and
balls.
House reps. There you go. Grab death by the balls. Take your death into your own hands. Don't do that.
Well, do that in a sort
but
of
yeah,
in a sort of, let's say, legal sense. But
take
maybe
your
not.
funeral options into your
There
own
we
hands.
go. Yeah, please.
It's not just for grandma anymore. It's for you, because you're gonna die.
Yeah, we're all gonna die, except for me. I am immortal. All right, cool. All right, and so with that, we'll be back to you with the Funny Trends podcast, part 1.